Episode number 264. Near the Louvre the four friends met with them the Treville, who was returning from St. Germain. He stopped them to offer his compliments upon their appointments, which in an instant drew round them 100 gapers. D'Artagnan profited by the circumstance to speak to the Treville of the letter with the great red seal, and the cardinal's arms. It is well understood that he did not breathe a word about the other. The Treville approved of the resolution he had adopted, and assured him that, if on the morrow he did not appear, himself would undertake to find him, let him be where he might. At this moment the clock of La Samaritaine struck 6, the four friends pleaded an engagement, and took leave of the Treville. A short gallop brought them to the road of Chaillot. The day began to decline, carriages were passing and repassing. D'Artagnan, keeping at some distance from his friends, darted a scrutinizing glance into every carriage that appeared, but saw no face with which he was acquainted. At length, after waiting a quarter of an hour, and just as twilight was beginning to thicken, a carriage appeared, coming at a quick pace on the road of Sèvres. A presentiment instantly told D'Artagnan that this carriage contained the person who had appointed the rendezvous. The young man was himself astonished to find his heart beat so violently. Almost instantly a female head was put out at the window, with 2 fingers placed upon her mouth, either to enjoin silence, or to send him a kiss. D'Artagnan uttered a slight cry of joy. This woman, or rather this apparition, for the carriage passed with the rapidity of a vision, was Mlle. Bonacieux. By an involuntary movement, and in spite of the injunction given, D'Artagnan put his horse into a gallop, and in a few strides overtook the carriage, but the window was hermetically closed, the vision had disappeared. D'Artagnan then remembered the injunction. If you value your own life or that of those who love you, remain motionless, and as if you had seen nothing. He stopped, therefore, trembling not for himself, but for the poor woman who had evidently exposed herself to great danger by appointing this rendezvous. The carriage pursued its way, still going at a great pace, till it dashed into Paris, and disappeared. D'Artagnan remained fixed to the spot, astounded and not knowing what to think. If it was Mlle. Bonacieux and if she was returning to Paris, why this fugitive rendezvous, why this simple exchange of a glance, why this lost kiss? If, on the other side, it was not she, which was still quite possible, for the little light that remained rendered a mistake easy, might it not be the commencement of some plot against him through the allurement of this woman, for whom his love was known? His 3 companions joined him. All had plainly seen a woman's head appear at the window, but none of them, except Athos, knew Mlle. Bonacieux. The opinion of Athos was that it was indeed she, but less preoccupied by that pretty face than D'Artagnan, he had fancied he saw a second head, a man's head, inside the carriage.